It was the news that a lot of West Ham fans expected to see, but it wasn't the news they wanted to hear. Club captain Mr. West Ham himself and the legend Mark Noble is going to retire at the end of next season, having agreed to extend his contract for another year. Mark went on to West Ham's official website and wrote a letter to the fans saying that his decision came after much discussion with his friends and family. In my lifetime supporting West Ham, in the 13 years that I've been a West Ham supporter, Mark Noble has become my favourite West Ham player. He had so many opportunities to leave the club and could have left the club given all the trials and tribulations that he went through, but he stuck with West Ham through thick and thin and is going to retire after a total of 22 years of service to this club. Having come through as a young player and through the academy, he made his professional debut, became a regular starter in the first team, and then became club captain. Mark has been a credit to West Ham United, and I wanted to summarise all of my feelings and thoughts of him as a player and as a person in an article. I've written it for my website, and you can find a link to that in the description. Mark's created a lot of memories and good times throughout the last 15, 16 years as a professional with the club. Maybe even a little bit longer than that. I wanted to see what fans thought about Mark and their memories of him, whether it be personal or a common memory of Mark Noble. So that's why I went on Facebook, as I normally do with an Over To You video, asked the question, what is your favourite memory of Mark Noble, and read through some of the responses. As per usual, and as is the case with these videos, there were a lot of common themes, and also some personal stories that were shared, and I should be okay to share those because they are relevant to the topic of the video. Mark Noble, how do you describe him? I've definitely slagged him, I've definitely cheered him, and I've took him for granted too many times to remember. Every time I see him interviewed, he is class. Absolute professional, on and off the pitch in brackets. West Ham through and through, he is the ultimate image of our club. Taken after Billy, Trevor, Devo, he will join all of our legends, and totally deserved. A credit to West Ham United, Mark Noble, West Ham legend. Summed it up perfectly in just that one comment. And he's been through a lot of other things that players have been through, even those club legends that are mentioned in that comment. He's been through highs and lows, he's been slagged off, he's been praised. It's part of life, it's part of, I guess, any job. You're going to do things right, you're going to do things wrong. Mark Noble was no exception to that, but it's how he took on the criticism and the highs and lows and used it to his advantage and made it become a better player, it made him become a better person, and absolutely, West Ham legend. No other way to put it. 1, when he picked up the opposition player, and 2, the comfortable feeling every time he takes a penalty, with huge confidence that it's going to be a goal. He has one of the highest penalty conversion rates in Europe. I think he's ranking at number 2 at the time of recording this, but he has hit number 1 before. Accurate penalty taker, and most of his Premier League goals actually did come from the penalty spot. Why? Because West Ham fans and the rest of the team trust him to score them. Yeah, I've seen him take many penalties, and most of my memorable Mark Noble goals are from the penalty spot. The opposition player is something that's going to be touched on a little later in this video, so I won't say too much about that now. But I would agree, he is a very competent penalty taker, he's accurate from the spot, and we can all trust him to step up and score. Lifting the Champions League trophy in 2022. Yes, let's hope it does happen. Would be the perfect way to end his last ever season, wouldn't it? Him lifting the European trophy and making West Ham, little old West Ham from the East End, champions of Europe, because we are absolutely massive. All jokes aside there, West Ham have to get into Europe first, so before you can say that, you know, we've got to qualify for at least the Europa League or, as alluded to in the comment, the Champions League. But Mark Noble playing Champions League football in his last ever season would make it just that bit more memorable. He's had a chance to play in the Europa League before, but nothing came of it. So the Champions League would be a big step up. And like I say, what a great way to end his last ever season. playing in Europe. Him being proud to play for us every game, I think he's very fortunate to have had the career that he's had and to have played for one club for as long as he's had. Troy Deeney said in an interview the other week that he's got a lot of respect for Mark Noble because what Mark Noble's done in those 16 odd years as a Hammer is very rare in football these days, to have one player playing for that whole club throughout the duration of the career. And Mark Noble has been very proud to play for West Ham because of the history, traditions, and the fact that the club has made him grow from a boy into a man. I think that, he is very proud to play for West Ham, and there's a fine line between just playing for the club because you're doing it for your job and actually playing for the club because you have a passion and you understand what the club means. And Mark Noble clearly shows that. His pride shows through his passion. Picture of Mark Noble grabbing Pogba in the face. Yeah, wasn't going to take any nonsense from Pogba, was he? That actually came up a few times in the comments. I had to limit it to 1 or 2 though, because the most common memory of him was Noble grabbing Pogba's face. Noble carrying Ander Herrera off the pitch. Yeah, that's another one that came up as well. Noble grabbing Ander Herrera and carrying off the pitch like he was in a restraint chair or something like that. That was another thing that a lot of people remembered him for. And yeah, it's one of the things I remember him for doing. And that came up in the comments a lot as well. Going to his testimonial, I think that was one of the key memories of Mark Noble when I was reading through these comments. People who went to his testimonial at the bowling ground, you were in for a treat with that, because not only did you get to see a lot of former players put on the shirt one more time, but you got to honour Mark Noble for his loyal service to the club. Very important and unforgettable day for Mark and his family and all the fans in attendance. It was the right thing to do, of course, for him to have a testimonial, because it was a nice way for the club to give back to a man who has given so much to the club. His first game against Spurs. You know my story of this Spurs game in the 2006-07 season. If you've watched my channel and you've seen me on other channels, you know my story about me watching it. And I was only 9 years old in my dad's living room. I'm not going to go into all the details of the story again because it's kind of off topic. But that was his first Premier League goal against Spurs in a London derby, in a game that's going to go down in West Ham folklore because of the high amounts of goals and the memories. And it was also the start of Mark Noble's journey through the emotions at West Ham. Don't forget, West Ham were in that relegation battle during that season and had the great escape. Mark Noble was there, and that was his earliest indication of what playing for West Ham's really like. It's going to be a lot of fight, but you reap what you sow in terms of the rewards. There's 2. The night that Mark took his shirt off to give to my boy, and the second was when Mark met with him to sign it. Oh, how nice of him. Really, really nice of him. Mark's always got time for the fans because he's club captain and he knows how many people love him at the club. He's, like I say many times in this video, a legend. And that must have been a really nice moment for your son. Make sure that you frame that shirt and keep it safe for all time, because a Mark Noble jersey isn't going to be something that we'll be seeing in the next few years. Not in a game. But fans will definitely still have the jersey. I've even got a Mark Noble jersey on right now, believe it or not. As you can see. So to have it signed and have Mark Noble sign it in person is really special. When he had the balls to speak up about Grady Diangana, even though I didn't agree with him, I was pleased to see someone stand up to Sullivan regardless. When Mark Noble put that tweet out, it was a big message to the board, and it helped to start the hashtag GSBOut movement on Twitter, and it got trending really quickly. When your own club captain is speaking against the owners for a decision like this, it speaks massive volumes. It's showing that how would I put this? Mark Noble is uniting with the fans and has a common interest with them in the fact that he disagrees with how the owners run the club. Noble's had to, in a way, comply with the owners because they are in charge of the club and he's the team captain. But I don't think he wanted to be silent after the Grady Diangana business. And Mark Noble putting out that tweet to say that he was disgusted and angered by the sale of this player was a big statement of intent from Noble, and it was praised heavily on Twitter. Big move from him, and it was very gutsy. I totally agreed with him doing it. He's only 17, he's better than Roy Keane, We've got Mark Noble. It doesn't quite rhyme or fit the tune, but it was my best attempt. The season he was unplayable, think it was about 13-14 or 14-15. He should have got England caps in that form. Mark Noble's going to go down as one of those players who was so good, yet he never got a call up to the England team. How many times were West Ham fans calling for it from 2013 to about 2017, asking for Mark Noble to be called up to the senior England side? He played at under-21 level before, but he'd never played in a World Cup or a full international game. I think that's a bit of an injustice, in all honesty, because there was so much he could have offered into the England team, and now that he's 33 years old, the chances of that are going to be thin, given that Southgate wants to build a young England side. I could go on forever about Mark Noble, but I have to limit this video so I don't want to let it drag on. So I have put in the description a link from the Anvil's website. It's an article that I did about Mark Noble entitled Just a Kid from Canning Town. You can read that and see what I think about Mark Noble and how I think West Ham's helped him throughout his career, as well as how some experiences of playing for West Ham have changed his character for the better. So feel free to check it out in the description. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Over to You. If you liked the video, hit the like button and subscribe for more content. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing Off the Press, where I discuss 3 news topics. I haven't quite decided on a third topic just yet, but I will have something in time for tomorrow, and I'll have that out on YouTube as well. Thanks very much for watching this. Take care, and I'll see you all soon.